Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Learning Speaking English channel. Today, I'm going to share something very close to my heart. A story that changed my life completely. It's not about success, money, or other people. It's about something deeper. Something that begins inside you. It's called self-love. When I look back, I realize how long I lived without truly loving myself. I was always running after approval, perfection, deadlines, dreams that were not even mine. And somewhere, in that race, I lost the person I was supposed to care for the most, myself. I remember the first morning when I actually noticed how tired I looked. It was a Monday in London, grey sky, soft rain tapping on my window. I was rushing to get ready for work. My coffee had gone cold. When I caught my reflection in the mirror, I saw a face that was surviving, not living. Dark circles, dull eyes, and a forced smile. For a moment I paused. I asked myself, when was the last time I actually felt happy? Not excited about an achievement, not relieved that a task was done, but genuinely, deeply happy? I couldn't remember. That question haunted me all day. At the office, people spoke, laughed, planned, argued, and I just sat there pretending everything was fine. But inside, I was falling apart quietly. That evening, I took a walk through Hyde Park. It was cold, but peaceful. Children were playing, couples were walking hand in hand, and the golden leaves whispered under my feet. For the first time in months, I let myself slow down. I remember sitting on a bench, staring at the lake, when a small girl walked by with her mother. She had a pink balloon in her hand, and she was laughing for no reason. Her laughter was pure, like sunlight. And I thought, I used to laugh like that too. Before I started judging myself. Before I began believing I wasn't enough. Before I forgot that my heart also deserved kindness. That evening, I made a decision, a quiet, powerful decision. I will learn to love myself again. The next morning, I wrote something on a sticky note and placed it on my mirror. Emma, be kind to yourself today. It looked simple, maybe even silly, but it became my first rule of self-love. At work, I stopped apologizing for every small thing. If I didn't know something, I said, let me learn that. If I was tired, I took a break, without guilt. If someone spoke rudely, I didn't blame myself for their tone. And every night, before sleeping, I wrote 3 lines in a small blue notebook. What did I do well today? What made me smile today? What am I grateful for today? At first, it felt strange. My mind tried to remind me of mistakes and regrets. But slowly, my heart began to heal. Self-love doesn't happen in a day. It's not about face masks, candles, or long vacations. It's about respecting your own boundaries. It's about saying no when something hurts your peace. It's about forgiving yourself for the times you didn't know better. A few weeks later, something amazing happened. My colleagues noticed a change in me. Emma, you look brighter, one of them said. Another said, you sound more confident lately. I hadn't done anything extraordinary. I had just stopped tearing myself down. That's the quiet magic of self-love. It changes how the world sees you, because it first changes how you see yourself. One weekend, I took myself out on a solo date. I went to a small cafe near the river, ordered a latte, and sat by the window. I listened to jazz, watched people passing by, and smiled for no reason. It felt new, but it also felt right. I realized that all my life, I had waited for someone else to make me feel special. Parents, friends, relationships, society. But the truth is, no one can fill your cup if you keep it empty yourself. Self-love is not selfish. It's survival. There were still bad days, of course. Days when old fears returned. You're not good enough. You're wasting your time. You'll never be loved. But now I had an answer. I would take a deep breath and whisper, I am learning. I am growing. I am enough. Every time I said those words, they became stronger. My voice became steadier. And one day, I actually believed them. Months passed. My mornings changed. I started waking up early, not to rush, but to breathe. I made tea and watched the sunrise. Sometimes I wrote letters to my future self, telling her how proud I was of her progress. I stopped comparing my life to others. I learned that what I see on social media is not someone's reality, it's their highlight reel. And I realized that peace begins when comparison ends. One evening, I met an old friend who said, "Emma, you seem so peaceful lately. What's your secret?" I smiled and said, "It's not a secret. It's just self-love." She laughed. "You make it sound easy." I said, "It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because self-love is not a destination, it's a daily practice. It's a gentle promise you make to yourself every morning. I will show up for me." There was a time when I used to wait for Fridays to feel free. Now, I wake up on Mondays with gratitude. There was a time when I used to chase perfection. Now I celebrate progress. And there was a time when I feared being alone. Now I enjoy my own company. That's the transformation self-love brings. Sometimes people ask me, "Emma, aren't you afraid you'll become too self-centered?" I tell them, self-love and selfishness are not the same. Selfishness means thinking only of yourself. Self-love means taking care of yourself so you can be there for others without losing your peace. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you're kind to yourself, your kindness to others becomes real. When you forgive yourself, it becomes easier to forgive others. Let me tell you a small story within my story. A few months after I started this journey, I visited Paris alone. I stood near the Eiffel Tower at sunset. The sky was golden pink, and a cool breeze touched my face. I had always imagined that such moments would feel complete only with someone beside me. But that evening, I realized something different. I was complete already. I smiled, whispered thank you to the universe, and took a photo. Not to post, but to remember how self-love feels. If you're listening to this right now, maybe you also feel tired, unseen, or unworthy. Maybe you give everything to everyone, and nothing to yourself. Maybe you're waiting for someone else to tell you that you matter. Let me remind you, you already do. Your worth is not measured by your achievements, your looks, or the opinions of others. Your worth is in your heart, your kindness, your courage to start again. So tonight, when you look in the mirror, don't look for flaws. Look for the fighter who survived. Look for the learner who's still growing. And tell yourself, I am proud of you. I love you. You're doing your best. Because those words can heal more than any apology from the world. It's been a year now since I started my self-love journey. My life isn't perfect, but it's peaceful. I still make mistakes, but I forgive faster. I still cry sometimes, but I also smile deeper. And you know what's the most beautiful part? I've learned to be my own best friend. Self-love taught me to listen to my feelings, to rest without guilt, to dream without fear, and to walk away from things that break my peace. It taught me that real growth is quiet. It happens when you choose yourself again and again. So, if you're searching for a way to improve your life, start here. Start by being gentle with yourself. Start by celebrating small wins. Start by believing that you deserve your own love. And slowly, everything will change. Your mindset, your energy, your relationships, your world. Because when you love yourself, you stop chasing things that hurt you. You start attracting peace, respect, and genuine people. And that's when life truly begins. So, dear listener, take this story not just as words, but as a mirror. See your own reflection in it. Start your own journey today. You don't need a new city, a new job, or a new face. You just need a new way of looking at yourself, with love. And one day, you'll realize that the person you were searching for was always you. Thank you so much for listening to my story. My journey of learning to love myself and improving my life. If you felt even a little inspired today, I'm glad. Because that means my story found its purpose, to remind you of your worth. If you liked this video, please like, share, and comment. And don't forget to subscribe to the Learning Speaking English channel for more inspiring stories and powerful English lessons through real emotions. Take care of yourself. And remember, self-love is not selfish. It's the beginning of everything beautiful. With love, Emma.